Hello, my name's Eric Tappy and I'm with the Oklahoman. I'm here with Joe Todd today. He has been collecting stories of veterans from World War II for the past several years. He is an expert kind of on D-Day stories out here, and I'm here to interview him today. Thank you for joining us, Todd.
Thank you.
Yes. So what about World War II veterans makes them special to you?
Well, as they're the greatest generation,
Yeah.
and the ones I've interviewed are also humble about their service. I didn't do anything, and the heroes we have are just phenomenal. They're all heroes. The men that fought the war and the women on the home front.
How did you get started in all this? Kind of walk me through.
Okay, I worked for the Oklahoma Historical Society. I was the oral historian, interviewing senior citizens.
Yeah.
And I retired 2001, and I knew the deputy director of the Eisenhower Library in Abilene, Kansas.
Yeah.
And he said, we're losing the World War II veterans, not getting their stories. And I said, I know 20 around Bartlesville.
Oh, wow. Had you been living in Bartlesville at that time?
That's my hometown. When I retired, I moved back to Bartlesville.
Wow.
And I started interviewing those 20, but I found out you interview one, he's going to know 6 veterans. Those 6 will each know 6. And it just mushroomed.
Yeah. So what kind of part, specifically D-Day, as it's coming up on Monday, was most interesting to you?
I think the planning and the ruse we had to fool the Germans.
What were some of those?
Because we made the Germans think we were going to invade Calais, the shortest distance, instead of Normandy.
Yeah.
And there's a whole plan that was very well planned out.
Yeah. In our interview earlier, you kind of talked about the combat engineers.
Oh, yes.
You mind kind of talking
The
about
146 combat engineers were mainly from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And they trained, and they were the first ones on the beach blowing the obstacles.
Wow. So what kind of about them is, special? Because you said you spent a little bit of time researching that.
His name was Walt Sayers, lived in Bartlesville.
Yeah.
And he said, I didn't do anything. And after the interview, I said, well, you're blowing these obstacles. And I said, you said you didn't do anything. Yeah. I was just doing my job.
Do you see that theme throughout veterans of World War II and D-Day?
Yes, yes.
Why do you think they think like that?
I think they had a better camaraderie because we had a lot of National Guard units went together.
Yeah.
These people lived together, they trained together, and it was a cohesive unit.
Wow. You know, coming up on the 72nd anniversary, do you think kind of the generation now is going to forget these soldiers?
I don't think they'll forget them. I think they'll be in the back of their mind. I hope they don't forget them.
Yeah.
And if I have my way, they will not forget them.
Your way is going to be.
Yes.
So how many have you interviewed?
About 1,300.
1,300. Wow. So what does a typical interview look like?
Oh, it depends on how long they talk. I have some interviews that are 20 minutes long. I have one interview 6 hours.
6 hours?
6 hours.
What was that interview?
That was Robert Neptune. He helped organize the 82nd Airborne.
Wow. And
he fought in North Africa, Sicily, Italy, D-Day, Battle of the Bulge, every major battle in Europe.
Yeah. That must have been a story.
Phenomenal interview.
What were some of the things in his story that made it phenomenal?
Well, he was a paratrooper.
Yeah.
And he said he jumped into Sicily, and then they jumped at D-Day at night.
Yeah.
And they were training to jump at 800 feet.
Yeah.
On the airplane, they said we're jumping at 500 feet.
Yeah.
Which means you jump out your parachute balloons and you hit.
Yeah. Is that pretty short
yes,
distance?
Yes.
But what's a normal distance?
Oh, I think I'm not sure the skydivers jump, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 feet.
Oh, wow. So this was very interesting. So, looking back over your time as, interviewing people, what's the one thing you've learned?
About the World War II veterans.
Yeah.
They are all humble about their service. And virtually every one of them said, I'll do it again.
They'll do it again.
Even the ones that were POWs, Bataan Death March survivors, everything, they said, I'll do it again for this country.
Wow. Do you see that today?
Yes.
Same pride.
Yes, because I'm interviewing Korea, Vietnam, and some current veterans.
Yeah.
And they still have that pride of what they did, and they'll do it again.
Because you're moving on, because you've mostly completed World War
Yes,
II,
yes.
haven't you? So you're moving on to the Korean War.
Korea, Vietnam.
Korea and Vietnam. Wow. So are you going to keep like the same procedures
Yes,
that you did
yes.
of interviewing people?
Yes.
Oh, wow. So how long do you hope to continue this?
Well, as long as I'm able.
Well, another 20, 30 years, right?
Well, hopefully.
Hopefully. So you donate these videos to the Eisenhower Library.
Yes, yes. I'd like to tell you this is all volunteer work.
All volunteer
I did this
work.
all volunteer.
Yes, because you drove all the way here from Bartlesville.
Yes, yes. Because I bought my camera, I
Yeah.
buy the tapes, I do everything.
Wow.
And so everything is donated to the Eisenhower Library.
Yeah. So you do this free of charge.
Yes.
Why do you do that free of charge?
To help preserve these stories and save the stories of the greatest generation.
Wow. Wow. Well, I'm Eric Tappy with the Oklahoman, here with Joe Todd today. Joe, thank you muchly for
Thank
coming
you.
in. Have a good day.